It's July 10th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a ship that became a floating tomb, a fight to the death left its mark on history, and a kidnapping that shocked one of the world's richest families. Let's begin. On July 10th, 2011, a vintage Russian cruise ship was moving across the dark waters. Its name was the Bulgaria. Built in 1955, the aging vessel was already carrying far more people than it was designed to hold. One engine was not working properly, and several lower deck portholes were open. A violent storm was closing in, and as heavy rain struck the ship, dozens of children were gathered inside the entertainment room for a party away from the weather. Then, the Bulgaria began to turn. Suddenly, the ship leaned hard to one side, water poured through the open windows, the lights went out, and passengers scrambled to the upper deck as the vessel tilted farther and farther. Within minutes, the entire ship disappeared beneath 20 meters of water. Many people escaped by jumping into the reservoir, clinging to debris until rescue arrived. But 122 people never made it out, many of which were the children. The disaster later revealed overcrowding, missing permits, mechanical failures, and ignored safety rules. The Bulgaria sank because every warning had already been ignored. On July 10th, 1547, two noblemen stepped into a field outside of a French castle to settle an argument in the oldest way imaginable. Thousands gathered to witness what would become the last duel ever officially approved by the French crown. The brief was simple. God would decide who was telling the truth. One fighter was Francois de Vivonne, the king's favorite and a celebrated master swordsman. Almost everyone expected him to win. His opponent, Guy Chabot, Baron of Jarnac, was considered the underdog. The duel began, and steel clashed as spectators watched in silence. Then, in a move no one expected, Jarnac struck low, slicing through the back of Vivonne's leg, severing the muscle behind the knee. The champion collapsed, but unable to stand, he refused to surrender. Instead, he slowly bled to death from his wound. The shocking victory became so famous that France coined a new expression called the Jarnac, meaning a sudden, brilliant strike that no one saw coming. King Henry II was horrified that his favorite swordsman had died in a duel he had personally approved, and he vowed to never authorize another duel again. After centuries of deciding justice with the sword, France finally laid trial by combat to rest. On July 10, 1973, 16-year-old John Paul Getty III vanished from the streets of Rome. He was the grandson of J. Paul Getty, one of the richest men in the world, and soon a message arrived. The teenager had been kidnapped, and his captors wanted $17 million, but the family did not immediately pay. John Paul's father did not have enough money, and his billionaire grandfather refused, arguing that paying would make every wealthy child a target. So weeks dragged on, and the kidnappers sent a terrifying warning to the Italian newspaper, proving that the boy was still alive and threatening that the worst would follow. Only then did negotiations begin. J. Paul Getty agreed to pay $2.2 million, reportedly the largest amount he could claim as a tax deductible. He loaned his son the remaining money and charged him 4% interest. 5 months after the kidnapping, John Paul Getty III was released. The heir to one of the greatest fortunes had to learn a chilling truth. Even unimaginable wealth cannot buy back lost time. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next Eerie dose is just a day away.